Hello again, and welcome back. This here is Al, and this would be lesson 65, I think. And we are now in the Windows world. I forgot to mention last time, and if you tried some of that code, you would have been alerted to this eventually. This needs to be a standard call. Do you recall the standard call? And when we were discussing calling conventions, I mentioned that standard call was one of the standard calling conventions. Now, here it is. Now, callee cleanup, but right to left ordering. So that's different. Actually, sorry, it's completely the opposite of what we're used to. That is, we got to clean up and everything's backwards in terms of the argument pushing. But it doesn't matter. If you put the word standard call here, then you don't have to worry about it. You just write your code as you normally would. I've also connected this up with our common. So if I run to here, you'll know that common has been initialized because here's our heap report. I wonder how many heaps we got this time. Shouldn't be different, but it is. Look, we got 5. Oh, I'm surprised by that. What changed? Does it allocate a heap just for that console? Wait a minute. Where's the stack? I don't have any stack. Oh, no. No, hang on a minute. We need to look at one of these variables. This is critical. Locals. A formal 1/6. Hang on a sec. The thing I've never understood about this win main is why this isn't constant. I mean, I understand that people might want to modify it, but you could make a copy. So the stack is not at the same place anymore. It's at 2B now. What's 2B? 2/6. 6/9. Well, I have to check the report for this one. I didn't expect this to happen. Sorry for this minor diversion. 2B. That only goes up to 29. That only goes up. That's not 20,000. How many digits? 6. Ah, here it is. But we're right at the bottom. Well, almost the bottom. What if okay, well, forget about that for a minute. One of the things I did was I went and looked at those messages. These are the things that you put in these are the parameters that you pass through a message box function. Probably some of these combinations are not valid combinations because there's a message box EX thing, and I don't think that these are working with, these combinations are working with just message box. But I made a great big table, and guess where I put it? I put it in our data. It's read-only. It's an access violation. I should do that, shouldn't I? Just to prove to you. Why stop running? Watch this. G message box def of 0 dot type equals MB. Okay. According to theory, that is constant. Just for fun, we'll take away the constant. Actually, shouldn't it complain? No, it did complain. Can't assign to time. Right. Sorry. I should make it a DLLF for it. Didn't I just say it was? Oh, right. Everything's open. Go ahead. Do what you want. Do what you think you want. Now, I didn't have to give it the same name. You can give your own name if you want a constant memory segment. No, that should not have worked. Oh dear, oh dear. Start over again or what? Well, it's already equal to 0. Maybe it just didn't assign that. Now, this should not be allowed. I'm going to start all over again and find out why. I remember now. I remember how it works. It won't put them in the const segment. This is a hint. If something is declared as const, it should be put into our data. However, now we've got the problem with the directive. So we can cast this non-const. It better work. Whoops, that's true. Turn it into a pointer. Oh yeah. Yeah. There we go. See what I'm saying? Access violation. So if anything that is declared as const within this particular region here will be put in our data. And if we look at dump bin, Dialog into a clipboard, we're going to find all those strings in our data region. And the numbers. See? Here are the strings, and each one is followed by some number. Another number. The numbers are These ones are all 0, looks like. Go to the top of the list. And I know what those should be. MBOK should be 0. Should actually be 0. The next one should be 1. It's hard to read this. 0, 0. That's a string. Oh, and maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's not packed that way. Because all this seems like I don't see any small numbers, only 0. See, but that doesn't make sense. Why would it do that? Well, this does look like what some of those values would be. 2, 4, 6, 20, 30, 40. Anyway, the one that I was assigning was not one of these strings. That was my point. That both the members of these struct elements are fixed and unchanged throughout the duration of the program running. Now, as far as this heap, I don't know. I'll figure that out later. And I haven't passed anything in here, so I can't see. I can't see any stack variable. Alright. By the way, without the crash, if I run this, it just sort of walks through all of the different message box types. So here's a normal. Here's one with a cancel and this app modal is just 0. That's the normal behavior. So now you can't hear the noises when they go off, but I'll tell you. Now that made a big bang sound. Maybe I can. It might be really noisy. I'll just clip it out if it is. Oh, I can't do it while it's recording, can I? Maybe. Sound. Where are you, sound? Oh, we set the wrong one. Okay. I don't know if this is sounding right, but you should hear sounds now. These ones make a sound. Put this closer to the mic. These ones aren't making a sound. You hear that? So they have different sounds and different pictures. And they're various types. See? This has a sound and no picture. And so on and so forth. A whole bunch of different ways to alert people that are built in. But what I want to do is make my own message box. And, you know, just telling this story actually presents a pretty good puzzle or problem to work on to demonstrate some of the features of C++ and how we might take advantage of them. Because as it is, making a dialog box is not X+. It's easier than making a regular window. I'll give it that much. Okay, now I'm going to show you that. The function is called DialogBox. Okay, if you look at the help, well, maybe I should turn this off. I have no idea if it's already been. I've done it again. DialogBox. Alright. Okay, now, actually this is of some interest. I still have the dump bin? No. But we can. I just want to make sure that I haven't changed the settings, so we should be starting off at 400,000 as usual, right? For our memory location. And that's where we are, around 400,000. 401 always, right? Now, you see what that H instance number is? Locals. This H instance is the base address of the program image, our program. If I did dump bin, you would see. Well, I can do that actually without too much trouble, because this comes up fast. Here's the image base, right? And that's what this first parameter is. So this tells us in memory where we are. Okay. Now the first parameter to this DialogBox function is the location. Basically, it wants the base image of the executable. Okay. Now that right there should should tell you something. Think about the think about all that virtual function table stuff, and this will start making a little bit of sense. Now this template thing, okay, has to do with something called resources. Any executable image, and let's see, I'll take one at random. Probably Windows directory would be the best place. Oh. You can find something familiar. You know, I could do Notepad, I guess. I don't think there's going to be much. You know, the default should be as resource. I think this is the default. Doesn't say, but it is. I think it's the default. See? This is supposed to be an executable file, but it's not showing us any code or anything. It's showing us what are called the resources inside the the Notepad program. And some of those resources happen to be Dialogs. See? This is what it shows when it's printing something, presumably. This one is, I have no idea, Windows message. Okay, here's an edit box when you wanted to go to line, you know. Now you can actually edit these if you want. Only got one icon. You know, I don't want to mess up my Notepad, but I could make a copy of it and get rid of these. I could make a copy of my Notepad. and change it up a bit to show you what happens. In fact, I'm not running anything. I want to get that. One of the programs that I needed to change some of the keys for is this one, and I didn't fix up all of the labels, but tools. You see, this wasn't Control H to begin with. I changed that, and this wasn't Control F. I changed that, and for making a label, it doesn't say here, but Control L. I changed that one, and I edited some of the text in some of these. But if you look at this program, you won't find those. You won't find these menus and things, or the shortcuts or anything, because this program loads its resources from the DLL. So I located those resources in the DLL, changed it to the ones that I prefer instead of these unchanging fixed defaults, and now it works how I like it. Now our program, does our program have any resources? Let's have a look. Oh yeah, and I put a new directory here called Win Tests, since we're in the Win world. If I just drag it in, will it, alright. Open. Well, it's got one resource, right? And you've probably seen this thing printed out over and over again, embedding manifest, right? The manifest is just a little information thing that most programs have at the end, or maybe it's probably at the end. No, it's probably at the beginning. I don't know if you recognize this, but I know exactly what this means. This means UTF-8. So this is in UTF-8 format. But it's just informational. What we need to put in there is like what Notepad had. We need to put in some data that corresponds with the dialog. Okay, now what else about that function? So we have to give it the program image. This is said it's passed in, can be passed in either as a string, it turns out, or a number. Okay. Now, because of the possibility of there being one or the other, there's a macro you can call that sort of casts the number into a pointer to string, even though it's not a pointer to a string. The high order word must be 0, etc. And the low, there's some, they decided there's some format so that it doesn't crash. The handle to window of parent. Windows, these things are like trees, like there's a parent, and the parent has children, and the children can have children, and so on and so forth. And the highest one up in the tree, at least the highest one, the next highest one, the parent of this one, the next one up, I guess. Sort of, you could say like the one that this one is inherited from, but it's not inheriting properties. It's just inheritance by being owned. And the last thing is a pointer to a function. So we need to deal with these problems in turn. The first bit is actually pretty easy. To make a dialog, right? This thing will do it for us. You can also do it manually, and I'll show you both. It's really easy. You say add resource. Yes. Now it's going to take forever to load that thing. Select dialog and just say new. Okay. Now here's a dialog. This thing, once it's compiled, this thing actually gets compiled, but not by the regular compiler, by something called the resource compiler, which makes a special kind of binary file. You can move these together too, by the way. Just to mix things up a bit, I'll put an edit control in here. You can actually test how the dialog would run. Okay, this is what it would do. Now I just pressed enter there, right? And one of the things you can do, if you don't want enter to kill your text, is you can change the properties of these controls. Where is that properties thing? I hope this works. Ooh, it's working, I think. Now I need more space. Okay. Tab stop, I'll explain later. Want return, I think that's the one. We'll put that to true. Now let's try it again. That didn't do it. I thought that was the one. But it may not, this button thing might not tell you the whole story. Or maybe it has to be multi-mod. And want return. Let's try that. Ah, there we go. Okay. So it's not scrolling, but you can add that too. So here we have a custom dialog. We could change its name if we wanted to, or like what it says. That's called the caption. Caption. Here's a caption. And these, all of this information I'm entering in here is going to be entered in a binary format into the executable image. Now this here thing has a name, and it's called, where is it? Oh, wait a minute. Properties. Dialog frame 1. Oh yeah, I think it's this one. There we go. But we might want this one, but not that one. So I think we can do that too. Title bar. I think we want a title bar. No, we definitely want a title bar. But you just fiddle with these things until you get it right. You get the behavior that you want. Oh, here we go. Maximize box, minimize box. What about the X box? I know I'm wasting time here, but I'd like to get rid of that particular one. Oh well, we'll figure that out later. Now, over here in the happy view, two files have been created. And I always put them, I always add a little, like a little folder thing for them called resources. Because that's really where they belong, I think. Yes, I want to save change. Now it should compile just like that. But that doesn't mean that we're done. However, I'm trying to find the line where it shows us, here. I should probably add detail to this output. How much time? Too much time. I'm just going to show you now that what I just did has changed the image, our dialog exe. I'll open it again, and this thing won't take me to the same directory. It never does. Open, I said. There. See that? That's our dialog. Now that's just coming from the exe file, not from any dialog editor or anything. And this here, RC file, is nothing but a little script. Okay, and you can edit these by hand, and sometimes you have to. And it's totally trivial, you know. These things all have special names, you know. A push button is just a button. This gives its size, you know, the rectangle coordinates, relative coordinates. This is the ID associated with that button. This is the one that is automatically selected. There's always one default button. Here's the edit text thing that I add. It's a multi-line, takes returns, auto scroll, you know. And that's all of the information that was given to this RC resource compiler, which created something. Where are we? CPP. It would be here. Why is the double click working now? Here. That, oh no, that's what we were just looking at. It's called res. Here. This here, which is quite tiny. I'm not sure. I want to open it just with the binary editor, just to see what it is. Cancel, okay, right? So it's got all there. Here's the caption, right? And this is a reference to a dynamic link library. These are some things to do with the text. Okay, so that's the format that it would appear in the binary image of the program. If we tried opening the program, I'm guessing, but I don't actually know this one for sure. But I guess that might just sit right at the head of right at the front of the program, like a virtual function table would. Open, I said. Binary. No, oh, where's the M said? But it can't be far off. It's got to be, you know, these things, or it could be right at the bottom. No. I could do a search. What can I search for? I can't type. How about FFFF? Oops. I don't know if it'll work. Looks like everybody likes to use FFFF. What else could I find? FFFF65. That seems unlikely. Well, anyway, that's not so important. Somehow it gets in there, as you saw. And now we've got to get that into the DialogBox function, and so that all that leaves is, that's easy, that's just by using this macro. The parent, we have no parent, so we could specify it's possible to get the handle to the desktop window. There's a window called desktop. That could be the parent or no. And then we have to make this special function. And the special function has a special format, and I'll do that next time. Okay, see you then.